Welcome, everybody, to another edition of NXT on Tap. I am Scalz. I am joined by Bill the Future and Ginger Ninja Jaxpo. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Absolutely ecstatic. Let's get into tonight.
Hey, Al, how we doing? Tonight, man, what a show we had with NXT.
Hey, Al.
I couldn't believe what they did tonight on this show. This show was jam-packed from start to finish. They made a major focus on the women's division tonight. I loved every moment of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So we started off tonight with the man Becky Lynch coming out. What was your thoughts on this promo that she gave?
Hey, she's putting everybody in the lock. She's put everybody in the women's locker room on notice. And honestly, I think this is one of the best ways you can really boost your women's division up. You've got somebody as high tier talent as Becky Lynch as a champion. I feel like with the way that she came out, calling out every single major player on the women's roster, it's a great way to let them share the spotlight with somebody as high of a caliber as her and get in, obviously there's going to be a lot of challenges for it. There will be quite a few challenges for it, I think, down the road. Yeah, she's going to defeat a few of them, but they're getting the rub off of they're getting a huge rub off of Becky Lynch, which speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely the way that she spoke about all the women on the roster was a great touch. That's Tommy. That's Tommy, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on, Tommy? I want to make sure, because I know there's a lot of people that come in from Will's streams. I don't know everybody's name. I want to learn. So
Tommy's on his don't give a fuck attitude today. It's great.
But the way she called out, she specifically mentioned Gigi Dolan, Elektra Lopez, Thea Hall, Roxanne Perez, Ivy Nile, Jason Jane, and I'm surprised with Natalya. That's the one that surprised me. And I guess that's because she just beat her the night before.
Yeah.
That's probably the only reason I would say she threw her in there.
So that's probably why. I actually had found out that original. Oh, I'm sorry.
Very good. Someone on my Twitter tonight said Becky was dropping bars, and she was rhyming and going at it, man. She was freestyling, and I liked it. I was like, damn.
And I know what you were alluding to, Phil. You were going to say that last night it was not supposed to be Natalya.
It was supposed to be Tegan Knox, but they're like, right. Let's do Natalya. And I'm like, you kidding me?
Do you know the reason why they switched it?
I don't know why they did.
So WWE wanted to give Natalya like a thank you for what she did over in India. Because with Becky Lynch not be able to make it because of there was an issue with her passport.
Oh,
Natalya wrestled 2 matches at India.
Oh, 2 matches.
So she wrestled the first match against Rhea, and then it was supposed to be Becky versus someone else, and Natty stepped up and wrestled the second match at the show.
Okay,
So the WWE brass gave her this as like a thank you for everything that she's done for them, especially in India.
Okay, that makes perfect sense then. All the power to Natty.
I mean, I would have loved to see Becky versus Tegan because we haven't seen Tegan on our TV in a long time, and that would have been a great way to showcase her. I wish they would send her back down to NXT because she had a great run down there. I think she would fit in perfectly with everybody that's down there. But the women's division in NXT is kind of getting overcrowded.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent on there, but there's too much almost.
Right. So after that, you had Tiffany come out, talk about how she appreciates everything as Becky's saying, but she thinks that was the rematch going to be an option? No, the rematch is happening. And she said that she wants it at No Mercy. So sets up the match for No Mercy versus Becky Lynch, which we all knew was coming. Great. I think now there's going to be another one more week of this and possibly Becky dropping the belt at No Mercy back to Tiffany? Or do you think that's too short of a time frame?
I don't know. For me, I feel like that's a little too short of a time frame. I would let Becky hold it past No Mercy, but I would say maybe hold it just I don't know. Maybe she drops it like a couple weeks after. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to be doing as the next pay-per-view for NXT because they don't really tell us. But
so the next one after that would be Halloween Havoc.
Yes, Halloween Havoc. That would be I would be okay with that.
Whether it's going to be a weekly special or it's going to be a pay-per-view. But that's definitely the next one because that would be for Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween Havoc is usually a just like a week, just like one of those special weekly shows.
Right.
So
but now that they're traveling again doing pay-per-views, you never know.
Yeah, they might save them for the bigger cities.
So the weekend in October, the 29th is a Sunday, 28th is a Saturday. So I could definitely see it being on the 28th if they decide. Or Halloween is actually on a Tuesday. Yeah. So either way. What's your thoughts on Becky? You think she's going to drop it, Jax?
I would go a little too short. Just a little too short. Maybe just like keep her down in NXT for a little bit. Let her carry the belt around. She's going to carry it to Raw. I just don't think, would it be less than a month for one of the biggest stars in your women's roster?
It would be pretty much like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's too short for Becky.
Yeah, it's too short for Becky. Plus, I think with her keeping it and like defending it on Raw like she did with like Natalya, it can give a lot more talent for that is for the women's undercard. It can give them a little bit more time on TV in the spotlight a bit more. Like we said, Tegan Knox. Like you could do the same with Emma. You could do the same with, I don't know, like I don't know what other women are like rarely being used. You could do Kaden Carter or Katana Chance. Somebody
they need to start being used in the tag division. That's a whole nother story for another day.
Well, yeah. Kaden, and why did I even say Katana? I still recognize her as Casey. Sorry.
Your message is not gonna. I can't show your message on the screen. Otherwise, I would. He says Tiff, 2-time champ, come no mercy. That's all he knows about NXT right now. Tommy says Becky wins at No Mercy, but loses either on a Tuesday night or I don't know. They might push it to Halloween Havoc. Who knows? I could definitely see if they're going to push it that they would do it for a special event like that. But the only issue I have with that is the 28th of November, isn't that Survivor Series? Oh, no, that's November. Never mind. That's a month later.
Yeah,
I don't know if the 28th is a week before Crown Jewel. So are they going to have Becky drop it that close and not have a story going into Crown Jewel, or do we have her drop it sooner? Like it's going to be a whole thing going on. We have to see what's going on with up on the main roster too.
I do feel like Halloween Havoc still might be the best idea.
Yeah, Halloween Havoc seems the best, but here's a fantasy book. I'm shooting a hot dog down a hallway. What if she drops it at Crown Jewel? What better way to elevate NXT? Make it its own brand. Drop it at Crown Jewel. No one would think of that. Doing something.
That's a bit. That's a really big shot.
I'm not gonna lie. When Tiff said tonight, when she came out and said, "I want to have it," I in my head I was like, "Please say Fastlane. Please say Fastlane. Please say Fastlane." Like, and then she went to No Mercy. I was like, "Damn." Right. That's why I wanted her to go to Fastlane because then it'd be on a WWE pay-per-view as opposed to an NXT pay-per-view. And it's a week later, so it's not that much of a difference. And then you have Tiff beat her there. So unless she loses somehow with interference or something, I don't know. I would like to have... she's eventually going to win it back. That's the whole point of this. and she's going to win it back later on. It just all depends on when, and we can't figure that out. So after that, you had the D'Angelo family in the back. They were chatting about who the next challengers should be. They should offer all the worthy challengers at the table, and they'll have some Uncle Caesar's tortellini.
Uncle Caesar's tortellini.
Yeah, some Uncle Caesar's
Sean,
tortellini. You know what I mean?
You're gonna hate what I'm gonna say. Yeah, Nikita's not gonna return to go right in the title picture. I'm sorry. The only reason Tiff Tiff is winning, as you call her, Tiff Tiff, because that's what this whole thing is to do, is to make her even a bigger star and to get her over and get the fans that are in the main roster used to her, because she will be coming up WrestleMania time. She is going to be ready. She's already doing shows at WWE house shows.
Jamie's stirring the pot a little bit more. He says Tiffany versus Roxanne feud.
Roxanne could be the one to beat her right before she comes up.
I'm telling you now, they should have. Is Jade Cargill under a no-compete clause?
She is, but she's slated to be on the main roster.
I was thinking NXT does not
mercy and whoop Becky's ass.
Oh, absolutely! Like, honestly, if I don't see Jade Cargill going anywhere near NXT. Because she's already cemented herself on AEW as somebody who's already fit for the big time. Like,
the only thing is she doesn't know the WWE structure.
Winning streak. Like,
she doesn't know the WWE structure. That's the only downfall.
Thoughts on Gigi versus Blair Davenport feud kickstarting next week? Hey, you know what? I'm for it. It gives them something. It gives them something to do. Plus, it looks great.
What's up, Will, over there?
I'm just thinking out of the box tonight for some reason.
This feud with Gigi and Blair, I need Gigi to go over in this feud.
Yes,
because Gigi has gotten so many losses recently, and she's had no momentum. But she definitely needs to be the one to go over in this. Tommy, I'm not going to ask Will about his onion because he's going to cry and complain and bitch and then curse everybody off, and that's the food Will. We don't need the food Will in WrestleMania in the Wrestle Will section. See, there he is.
You got
Tommy.
You got him.
Tommy, this is why we can't have nice things.
Blair was at her best dating Will Ospreay. Oh. Not the Will Ospreay moment. Golly, like, don't bring up the Blair Davenport Sadie Gibbs controversy. Good Lord.
So after the backstage segment with the family, you had Dragunov in the back saying he's going to beat Carmelo Hayes, but he's going to watch the champion versus champion match tonight from ringside.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what that means. You'll find out later as we discuss it. Becky then challenges Stratton and James to a handicap match in the main event tonight, which surprised me. I was surprised they did that in the main event, but after watching it, it explained why it was the main event. You couldn't have that in the middle of the show. Like, it's better off to have that go off in the sunset.
Now Sean's going to go after me for saying Sadie Gibbs.
No, he said he loves Sadie Gibbs.
I know. That's why I'm like, oh no, why did I mention Sadie Gibbs? I'm in trouble.
Jesus.
Oh, Gigi. I mean, why did I call her Gigi? Heel Queen, you're right. The fact that Burn the Ships finally is on streaming platforms is brilliant.
How are we doing tonight, Ritter?
Of course they have to bring up the guy.
Triple H's real name. That's not.
I know. It's because when I was on Boss Bitch, the Ultimate Boss Bitch trivia show for Al.
That's what you said his real name was?
I accidentally said that his real name was Hunter Hearst. I'm like, I'm a dumbass.
I'm taking a side tangent. He was. What makes it so funny? We fuck with him.
Did he think he was right?
He goes, dude, he was so fucking confident. It was like Allison was like, "What is Triple H's real name?" And it wasn't a split second. With his fucking chest was like, sounds like.
And I'm like,
"Oh fuck."
Exactly.
He went through every emotion that fucking quick, and for the rest of the night, it was like, yeah, Ritter is good.
We're all doing good tonight. We watched a banging episode of NXT, and we're here to discuss it. What's going on, Mike? How are we doing tonight?
Hey, Mike.
Just an FYI for everybody that's in here. Right following this show over on Rivet City Radio will be Bot Spots and Chair Shots After Dark. Make sure you check it out. It's going to be a banger of an episode over there. These guys go into great details
chaos.
And everything that they discuss, 100% facts. They love it.
Oh, no, we don't want the fucking rack. Not
He
tonight.
trashes room. Oh, man.
They're just going to go at me because I'm a freaking baby. Just because I have a freaking face of a baby.
Back to NXT. Metaphor. What'd you think of this little Matrix segment that they did?
Dear God, they do
love
something
this shit.
every freaking week. It's so funny how they have a different theme every week. Like the first time I think I saw it, it was hilarious. Like a Frozen theme. Next, you had the what was it? Freaking I don't know, like beach or a jungle theme. And now tonight you've got the Matrix theme.
Yeah, like, and they had to shoot. They said he doesn't know which pill he's going to take. The red.
I don't know if
one.
It's going to be the red pill or the blue pill. I don't care if it's Butch or Tyler Bate. I don't care if it's Stu Hudson or Joe Coffey. I'm like, bro, you killing me. But Oro Mensah is Morpheus. That got me.
So then we went into after that, they came back from commercial. Dominic rolled up on Trick Williams in the back. He said that Williams told him that Dominic sucks all the energy out of the room, which he kind of does.
Nobody likes him.
It's funny, like, because he actually gets to talk on NXT, and he actually cuts good promos. Like, if the fans didn't boo him like crazy out of the building on Monday night, it could actually make his character better. So I'm glad he's in NXT for this particular reason. Agreed. It's showing his development.
Started down there.
Oh, I agree. But when they put him in Judgment Day, him working with them made him 100% better. And then now this, so good. See, I thought the promo was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We all love the promo, Jamie. Then we had Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate.
That was actually a good match. Just like the fact that you know that these guys have been around for, you could tell that they have been around for a long time since like just watching everything that was going on. Yeah, Pete Dunne, I should say. Like, I don't know who the hell Butch is. I just know Pete Dunne, but the fact that he brought the history, the history that he has had with Tyler Bate, I think it was absolutely great because before they even started off in NXT UK, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven were running together as a trio known as British Strong Style, like very well known in the UK, like they were tag team. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate were tag team champions at a point in I think in like a British promotion. Trent Seven and Tyler Bate had won tag titles at the same time. They've all held gold at one point in their career. All three of them have. So to have that match, it was great. It was great. It shows exactly what Tyler Bate knows how to do, what Pete Dunne knows how to do. Oh, it was Rev Pro. Thank you, Will. You're awesome, man. You're a sweetheart. But yeah, very, very solid match. They know each other's movesets. The fact that Pete Dunne, instead of using the bitter end to take him out, he used another move called the better end. That was what kind of like put me over a little bit. I'm like, yes.
So what I like about this is we're starting to see Pete Dunne. Like, we're gonna when this is all finished, and he goes back to the Brawling Brutes. I feel that we will have the elimination of Butch, and it's going to be the end of the Brawling. I think it's going to be the end of the Brawling Brutes as well. I think he's going to have back and forth with those two, and it's going to be Pete Dunne showing back up. After this match,
Oh,
good. No,
I've enjoyed this tournament from the beginning to the end, and I've loved all the little callbacks to NXT UK because I was one of those guys who tried to watch as much as I could. But I'm still pissed off that fucking Charlie Dempsey didn't win a damn match in this whole tournament.
Yeah, that's one thing I do agree with Jax on. The fact that Charlie Dempsey didn't win anything was like, that's a shocker. That's a shocker. Charlie Dempsey, like, I'm expecting him to. I was expecting him to be like a force to be reckoned with, like he was in NXT UK with Taman and Rohit Raju within Die Familie, but no, they just left him laying there like an unworn sock.
I mean, it's just. I don't know. They had to have that one person who didn't do well in the tournament. I mean, you had Akira Tozawa who got destroyed essentially in every match he was in.
Yeah.
Dempsey still put on a great show, great matches, but he just fell short. So it's like it's going to be that almost like the I can't think of the right phrasing, like the one that was almost there. He almost had it, but he's going to try and do that redemption story now, saying I need to be better than this. I need to get better. Hopefully, this is how they introduce his dad back into the picture.
Yep.
Saying, you're better than this, son. Like, let's do it.
You're better than
smacking
this.
him around and shit.
Yep, exactly.
What is wrong with you? You're better than this. You know you're better than this.
After that, they had the JC Jane and Thea Hale shopping.
Honestly, this is doing great for Thea Hale. I'm finally glad that, like, she is kind of now stepping out of the shadow of Chase U and is trying to find a way to be her own, like, independent woman. I just like how JC is just trying to help her along. It's like, you know, like, you don't need them. You gotta really start you need to grow up a little more, try to get out, be yourself, because you're not a little girl anymore. You know, you're a grown-ass woman. And so I think a new look would be a good idea. So honestly, I'm okay with it.
I didn't realize how muscular she was.
For real.
She's fucking jacked.
Hey, Bass Pro, thanks for the first time chat.
Yes.
Throw in a follow and make sure you can get us the next time you're around.
Well,
so he brings up the fact Messi or Cristiano. So I think this is a reference to what was kind of announced today, that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be at Crown Jewel for WWE. Like, they're talking about bringing him in, but there's also talk about bringing in other people as well. So I think he's saying, who do you think is the better soccer player, Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I don't watch soccer.
You watch soccer?
I don't watch soccer.
Oh.
I don't like this JC Jane Thea Hale partnership. What if it leads to JC stabbing Thea in the back? I'm iffy on that.
I love Chase University. I'm sorry, Tommy. This Chase University is amazing, especially when Thea started wrestling. Like, she just made it so much better. And now that this is going on, you're seeing the crumble. You're getting the worrisome of Chase. Andre Chase, like, what's going on with Thea? Where is she? Why is she always missing? It's like that. It's like the father looking after his daughter. Yeah. And it's going to eventually turn up where either one, you're going to have what she said, where JC's going to turn on Thea, or the other way around. Thea turns on JC, and then we get full-fledged Thea heel instead of Thea Hale.
Yo, I also really like about JCU the fact that, like, Duke Hudson is still aligned with JCU. The fact that he kind of does the whole Dusty Rhodes thing.
I really thought he was going to turn a long time ago.
Dude!
I really thought it was going to
Yeah.
turn a long time ago against them. Yeah, I mean, Andre, it's different. Alpha Academy and Chase U is different. Alpha Academy is more of the college. Chase U is the high school. Like they had the
Chase
pep
U's the
rallies. They had
Cool.
no, but that's what it's like set up as.
Well, I agree. Like, I just
They
find
got to
it funny, like,
graduate
they
from
get
Chase U to
high
get into the Alpha Academy.
Oh, thank you.
Could you imagine if that's what they did? Actually,
That would
when
be
you got
hilarious.
when you got called up to the main roster, you went from Chase U. If you were in Chase U, you went to the Alpha Academy. Like that would be perfect.
Yeah, Andre Chase got a promotion. It's like, I got to work on the big one now. Like Chase used the community college, Alpha Academy is like the national university.
Exactly. So speaking of Chase U, after that we had Duke Hudson versus Joe Coffey in the Global Heritage Invitational match.
Duke Hudson.
I was surprised. Like I didn't think they would do it this way. I did not think they would give Duke the win to create a three-way tie.
No,
and then have a triple threat match later in the week.
Yeah,
well, it says next week, but then he's told that it was happened tonight. So it's like
he's like,
okay,
wait, oh shoot. Like honestly, I thought Nathan Fraser was going to win that one, to be honest, because knowing that Duke Hudson and Joe Coffey already kind of had like a bit of a match. They were already kind of like worn a little bit, worn down. I'm like, oh man, Nathan Fraser, like he's fresh. He's fresh. He can go out there. He'll kick both their asses. He gonna move on and go up against Pete Dunne. But then, why did you have to let the? Oh my goodness, I got so let down. I felt so let down.
See, I was the exact opposite. Like I was sitting on the edge of my seat, going, "If Coffey wins this, we're gonna have the most."
Thank you, Jamie. That's right. Nathan Fraser is that guy.
All right, so let's skip to the triple threat now. So you have Duke Hudson versus Joe Coffey and Nathan Fraser. Let me tell you, this fucking match, amazing. Amazing.
He was fired.
He got fired, yeah.
Yeah.
a
Playing
while ago. It was
the long blondie dude. Oh, you're talking about Bodie Hayward. Bodie Hayward got released a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that was during the pandemic, actually.
Yeah, that was during the pandemic era. Yeah, like Bodie just wasn't doing it for them, I guess. So they they turned Nathan from being the poker dude into the newest guy in Chase U.
This match, unbelievable. If you want to go watch a match from NXT tonight, this triple threat is the match to go watch.
It was great.
Back and forth, great moves, everything going on. I like the winner of this match. And I know Phil doesn't, but I love the fact that they set up Coffey versus Pete Dunne.
It's going to be such...
England versus Scotland.
Like, I just love
such a banger.
This match is going to be amazing. And then we're going to see who takes on Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup. All right. Backing track a little bit. We had Lola Vice versus Roxanne Perez. What were your thoughts on this match?
If I'm going to go first, knowing that Queen, you drive me nuts sometimes. But anyway, I digress on that much. Lola Vice versus Roxanne Perez. Again, I think this is smart booking with the fact that we got the UFC WWE merger with TKO, because Lola Vice, aka Valerie Loretta, was at one point a UFC fighter. She's just been featured more on NXT Level Up than she has been on the regular NXT brand. I will say this, like Lola Vice being a bit of a, kind of transferring from UFC to NXT, and especially working with Elektra. I think she's doing well, especially under the tutelage of Elektra Lopez. But seeing Lopez in this, I mean, or should I say Lola Vice in this match, she held her own pretty well. I'm impressed with her work with Roxanne. Yeah, Roxanne won, but I mean, it's a good way. She kind of got a bit of a rub from her. Oh, it wasn't. Oh, it was Bellator. That's right. Yeah, my bad.
I thought it was a good match. We got to see Roxanne show what she can do. We got to see how much improved Lola has been, and I think the right person won on this. It helps to start building Roxanne back up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Next, we had another Eddie Thorpe video package, which I thought was pretty cool. I liked how they built this up again. Next week, we're going to have Eddie Thorpe versus Dijak in a strap match.
I like the setup too. I really like the setup too, especially since I believe Eddie Thorpe had the interview segment, and then Dijak just comes up out of nowhere. He takes the belt and he starts just whacking the tree with it.
That was last week to lead up to this week.
Yeah, that like him whacking the tree with the belt. I felt like that was going to then segue into Eddie Thorpe saying, you don't think I'm hardcore. You don't think I've got what it takes to, handle big, tough guys like you. Well, how about next week, you and me strap match? I'll show you how tough I can be. I'll show you why I should be a man not to be messed with, that. But yeah, Jamie, there you go. I mean, New Japan name was Carl Fredericks when they picked him up when they signed him. But Eddie Thorpe. I don't know.
I like Eddie Thorpe. I like that name.
The name Eddie Thorpe. I mean, it's a little different.
Who the hell wants to be named Tamatonka?
Who the hell really wants to be named Carl?
Carl Fredericks. I don't know if that was.
Don't tell Carl Anderson that.
Yeah, I know. That's.
I thought it was a good, solid promo. It does help elevate the match for next week, which it just seems like they're going to have some hard-hitting matches next week.
Oh, next week the matches are looking amazing.
Well, they're just going to beat the shit out of each other, and I'm down for it.
We can't have two Carls, pal.
Next we had the champion versus champion match, Carmelo Hayes versus Dominic Mysterio, with Dragunov at commentary for this one.
Those guys done messed up because they woke the dragon up. Never wake a sleeping dragon.
Y'all are going to hate me for this one.
Go ahead. Start it off.
I understand why it wasn't a main event after watching it. I don't it wasn't a solid match that these two guys could have done. And I don't think they had enough time to cook.
That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think they got a lot of time.
It felt rushed. And as we know, is because we watched it, NXT ended what, like 3-4 minutes early?
Right. So somewhere along the line, something was off on the timing tonight.
Time was.
And
so
it definitely could have been this match. They felt like they were trying so fast to get to the next move, like they weren't letting things fester. And I don't know if that's because they got Dragunov involved too soon, and maybe that's what happened. But there was good parts of it, but this was not Hayes' best work.
No, it was not.
Right. I mean, yeah. Like Dominic was the one that I believe it was Dominic who threw Carmelo into Dragunov in the first place and knocked him out of the chair, and then I think Hayes went over to hit a move on Mysterio. Mysterio dodges, hits Carmelo again. They go back in the ring, and at that point, you've incensed the dragon. Now he shall rage on you. So he goes in, basically, I guess, beats Dominic down with that huge just a huge wind-up forearm that just, oh my God. Every time I see it, it's like, pack it up. Just like, so whoever
And then he did
gets
the
hit with that. And then, of course,
the torpedo Moscaku.
Torpedo Moscow. But like, he hits him with a torpedo Moscow, but he pulls but Mysterio pulls Hayes into the line of fire when he goes and does goes with the diving headbutt. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the match definitely could have been better, but we'll see.
This was not my match of the night. Trust me. I just didn't do anything for me.
No. Do I think Schism is still going to be a thing, or they go their separate ways? Honestly, knowing that the dyad were given that the releases were accepted and they're no longer part of the company.
It was accepted because their contract ends in 2 weeks. So
Well,
I think they're just off TV for now until their contracts end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I think they just did it that way because the contracts ended in the middle of October or at the end of this month.
Okay, so if that's the case, just looking at what the Schism did last week with their little segment, which then bled into the Trick Williams Carmelo Hayes segment right after that, like you could obviously tell like they're next to like a broken tree, kind of showing that the learning tree has sort of been broken. But I think with what they're setting up now with Joe Gacy and Ava is that they're going to try to rebuild the Schism. They're going to plant a new learning tree will be planted. I don't know who the heck is going to be part of this new Schism. But yeah, I guess I don't know if they were trying to convert Trick Williams into joining the Schism. That's all up to I'm leaving that up to creatives. There are just some points where I'm like,
with that.
Let the poker chips where they fall.
No thanks with that.
Yeah, I don't want Trick in the Schism. Screw that.
Next we had a backstage segment with Chase and Hudson. Hudson is intimidated by his opponents. He's gasping for air after winning the previous match. Now he has to go back down and wrestle again. Then you had a segment with Scripps, Bronco Nima, Lucian Price, where they're playing dice in an alley, winning money off of two other people. Kind of weird. And then you had Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank! I fucking love Hank and Tank!
Hank and Tank! It's like
that is the best fucking tag team down in NXT right now.
Yo,
I'm fucking Hank and Tank.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this I'm not gonna lie. Hank and Tank to me remind me of Heavy Machinery, but more likable.
Gigi, I know your intentions are good with this, but that's going to be too close to home for her with Bray.
Yeah,
I don't think she would ever consider doing that. So I understand where your intentions are. I think when she comes back now, she's going to come back and be just Alexa. And we might get back to heel Alexa. You might get back to the one where she has her old music. Like, I think she's just going to go back to being her.
So basic, like goddess type.
Like back to the goddess. Yep.
Like the goddess, Little Miss Bliss, basically.
So in reference to what you said about them rebuilding the Schism, Phil, I did see something online. Somebody was suggesting something. What if you had Cross and Scarlett go with Gacy and Ava? And then you brought in Bo Dallas into that. What if you had a group like that with those five?
That would sort of be interesting, especially it would be very different too, especially for Bo Dallas going back to NXT. Because
I don't think Bo is coming back, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna just have a contract with WWE and they're just gonna let him do what he needs to do, and if he ever wants to come back, it's there for him.
Yeah.
Just because he was there really to work with Bray. So I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, that would be an interesting tandem with those five, but I don't see it all happening.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Cross is already he's already grown himself to a point where he doesn't need to go back. I don't feel like he needs to go back to NXT. I just feel like if they utilized him a little bit more, he'd be more of a bigger threat than what he is now. But I mean, it's better than his first run where I mean, we all know he lost to Jeff Hardy, where Jeff Hardy freaking cheated to win, and then after that, he came out looking like the fourth degenerate member of Demolition.
He got the Farouk treatment.
Damn.
He did. I mean, there's no other way to look at it.
No, there's not. You're absolutely correct. Next, we had the triple threat, which we already spoke about. You had Mustafa Ali get interview in the back. He was upset.
I like that though.
He was upset at the lack of uproar that he's being denied his title shot for the North American Championship. Dragon Lee is getting his before him and on Raw at that fact. And then he goes, Dominic is a criminal, Dragon is a liar, and he's going to deal with both of them at Raw. So I like that.
I like it too because, I mean, what I really like about this is that not only like yesterday did we have Becky Lynch defend the NXT women's title on a main event show, but now we're getting the NXT North American title defended on a main roster show. You know, this time with Dragon Lee, but I do agree. I kind of agree with Mustafa Ali on this because we already figured that we already know Mustafa Ali is going to challenge Dominic at No Mercy for the North American title because Dominic was the special guest referee between Ali and Dragon Lee, and he used the fast count to get Ali where he wanted to. I'm not saying I'm backing up Dominic for what he did because Ali won and he's my guy. I'm just sort of like, I agree with Ali because, yeah, even though his win was dirty, he still technically won the match. So why is Dragon Lee getting this shot way before him? Because Ali even said, when I win the NXT North American Championship, you will be the first person. I will allow you to be the very first person to challenge me for it. But yet he's given this title opportunity away, but yet the title opportunity has been given away to him at Monday Night Raw. So he's like, well, wait, what the hell are you guys doing? This makes no sense.
I'm going to touch on this, what Gigi said. I feel like Cross isn't finished with AJ because didn't he say something about the profits to AJ causing tension with the OC? So there is a lot of tension in the OC right now. AJ is straying away from them. He's going back into the solo scene himself. It looks like he's going to be back in the main event.
Yeah,
I haven't looked. I looked into this a while ago, and I don't remember. I don't have where my notes are and everything on this. But Cross has done something to everybody he's wrestled.
Yep.
He's changed something about them.
Yep.
And he's made little profits about different people. So Cross is doing all of this. And if they actually bring that into focus and start and making it a point to mention it on TV, I think that's going to be a great way to get Cross built up.
Yeah, like back when Cross was still like starting to develop different when he was starting to have these feuds with these many different people, he's always said something about him taking something. Like with Drew, he took away his patience. With Madcap Moss, he took away his smile. Kind of going on and on because he was about to have the feud with Shinsuke before Shinsuke moved on to Raw, and he said, "Shinsuke, I'm going to take away your honor." But then you have Shinsuke moving on to Raw, then
he went and look what happened. He
went heel on Seth Rollins, I guess,
but
that could be seen dishonorable. But then,
well, not only that, he's not honoring himself. He's not being true to himself. He's becoming a shell of what he was on SmackDown, on Raw.
He's carrying a fucking sword. That is the best prop I've ever seen him. It's a fucking samurai sword. Chop PP off.
The samurai sword was cool, but like the thing is now with the character that Shinsuke Nakamura is portraying, it reminds me more of who he was in New Japan. He's like he has his New Japan Pro Wrestling vibe coming back because again he's giving off that very Yakuza mob boss type of feel. He's got that going on with him. He's picking his shots one by one at Seth, but like even though Seth is saying, "Hey, I got the title down right here. Let's do this right here, right now. Let's get this over with." But Shin right now is playing the long game because he's trying to pick at different parts of Seth before he goes right in for the kill. Right. Which is that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that Hourglass was more.
That was when he first.
Yeah, that was when he debuted. I don't think that has to do with that. I think the crumbling of the bloodline started with Sami Zayn.
Internal.
It started with Sami Zayn and the distrust between everybody from there. I think that's where that's coming from.
Yeah.
We had the little backstage segment with Briggs being mad at Fallon for letting Miles stab them in the back. Corbin comes out, says it is in high school, tells him to shut up and let him enjoy his massage, and then Briggs steps up to him. So that could be an interesting match. I like to see that happen.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to watch. Two guys of similar size, and with Corbin's experience, I'm starting. At first, I was like, but I'm starting liking these call downs. Not even call downs; these call overs, like them just moving them over because I don't consider it going down anymore.
Heel Queen, that's enough.
That's not. Stop.
Jensen and Briggs are not the modern day. Festus
you
and
can't
Jesse.
even compare. No, Festus was.
That's just disrespectful.
No.
He was to his defense, he was on drugs, and CM Punk got him sober. And then he went to Japan and became an alcoholic. Now he's back over in WWE doing the same thing. You're saying full circle, baby, full circle.
So then we head to the main event for the show tonight, which is Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton versus Becky Lynch. Or so we thought.
Yeah, because Becky comes out, does the intro, but she starts doing her intro, but then she gets jumped from behind. They throw her in the ring. They start beating the crap out of her. And who comes in to swoop? Who swoops in and saves the day? Lyra Valkyria.
I really thought it was going to be Roxanne Perez, especially because earlier in the night she offered to Becky to help her and be her tag partner.
I can definitely understand why you would say that, but for me, it made sense that Lyra Valkyria came back to help because last week, going back to last week, I remember Becky and Lyra meeting up in the locker room. They kind of had a hug. They kind of talked to each other for a little bit about what Becky was about to do. And especially since Becky and Lyra both have sort of that relation that they're both Irish, I think Becky kind of helped train Valkyria a little bit too before she sort of made her way to NXT UK. I'm not entirely sure. You can look that up if not. But honestly, I think Lynch and Valkyria together as a tag team against the Mean Girls, aka Stratton and James, modern day Mean Girls. But it was a very, very solid match for what it was. The right person got pinned this time.
Thank you. Yeah, you didn't have Becky win. Becky wasn't the one that won. You actually had Lyra get the pin.
She put Lyra over in this case.
And she got the pin on Kiana James. So it doesn't hurt Tiffany by taking the loss. It elevates Lyra for getting the win. Becky is there just to make everybody else better. Like, and
Mhm.
what is this so hard for people to understand? Like, I've heard so much discourse for the last week. Oh, why did Becky win the belts? This is why she won the belts. Because everything she's going to do is just going to make everybody on that roster better. And it's going to
That
make them
roster now has to push themselves.
and it's going to make them more prepared for when they do come to the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I understand all the simps were hurt that Tiff lost her belt last week to a main roster star because NXT is developmental. No, NXT is not developmental. The people that keep saying it is the IWC. They want you to treat NXT as a third brand. That's why you have people that are free agents going there. That's why you have people like Dominic and Becky going to NXT.
Yeah, and that's why they have the free agents such as Mustafa Ali and Baron Corbin like being shown on the show. Where was this energy when Dolph won the NXT Championship last year? Thank you.
Or
Dolph
the new
now
day
is a free agent. He could go
Or the-
on NXT if he wanted to.
or the New Day when they won the tag titles last year.
New Day winning the NXT tag titles, like no one really forgot that when they won the NXT tag team titles, they became triple crown tag team champions.
So, I mean, you had Chelsea Green today come out and say on Twitter that they need to go to NXT because there's challenges down there for the tag titles. So maybe we'll start seeing them on that show. You'll start seeing them
Mix
on
it up.
Fridays. They need to start doing if they want to build up this women's tag team division. They need to start going to the other shows. You can't just stay on Raw.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm gonna say this. Yeah, Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton were kind of thrown together. We're kind of just thrown together just because of the fact that they both hate Becky Lynch, which is why the way that they were talking about her said modern day Mean Girls. That's why they could go go onto a main roster show like Raw or SmackDown, and they could go challenge Piper Niven and Chelsea Green for the for the women's tag titles. Like now that they're unified, they can be defended on either brand. It works. Wait, Kiana and Tiffany both have daddy issues. Problem solved. I'm done with you, Hill Queen. Yeah, I'm done with you. Oh my god. I'm dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people like to pick and choose when they want to have an outrage for certain things. Like, it's all because they're like, oh, Becky hurt Tiffany's momentum. Like, she's gonna make it worse for her. She's gonna ruin everything in the entire division. Like, no, she's gonna help everybody. She's gonna make everything better. And for people that don't see it, I'm sorry. Like, this is one thing that's gonna help the NXT Women's Division and elevate it. Because right now, that's probably one of the best divisions that WWE has put together now, and if not in a few years. Like, it's just so good right now.
I agree.
So,
I think Becky holding the belt, she's accomplished something she never accomplished in her career. Something that's on a bucket list. She's now a Grand Slam, home run derby champion because everything's got a name. But all it did tonight was put 3 different women on a show with more eyes on it than normal because more people are tuning in because Becky's holding that belt. I guarantee if you go back and look at it, the ratings have spiked the past 2 weeks.
Last week, the rating was the best in 3 years.
Yeah. One star did that. One person did that. And made an up and coming wrestler look like fucking gold, in my opinion.
Absolutely, she did. All right. Do we have any final thoughts on NXT before we close out the tab for the week?
It's another one of those. I would say go back and watch it if you didn't get a chance to. It was a solid from it furthered storylines. It's built up for next week. It did exactly what a wrestling show is supposed to do.
If there's something that I'm gonna add in also, before we as we call final call, as we do final call, I also like what Tony D'Angelo and Stacks are doing when looking at the potential 4 teams that could face them for the NXT tag titles, possibly at No Mercy, because we're looking at the Creeds, we're looking at Hank and Tank, I believe we're also looking at Angel and Humberto, and oh my goodness, there was one other team that I feel like I'm missing. I said the Creeds. I said Hank and Tank. I said Angel Humberto. I know there's one other team I know I'm missing. It'll probably come to me later, but I feel like from this. It was Gallus. Okay, there we go. It sounds like from what Tony and Stacks were saying, it seems like we could have like a tag team 4-way for like a 4-way eliminator match almost for the number 1 contenders position. Possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, go back and watch it if you didn't get a chance to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
The show was so good. Like, it was just that good. Like, everything from start to finish, they do a great job of developing stories. This is something that NXT has probably become the best at. And I just look forward to watching this wrestling every week. It is probably the best wrestling every week. Like, nothing really compares. Yes, I know SmackDown has had a great week last week because The Rock showed up, but NXT is the most consistent out of any of the wrestling programs.
When it comes to consistent storytelling, yes, it is.
So, before we wrap this up and sign off, Phil, where can we find you?
Okay, so if y'all want to see what this cold-hearted handsome devil was doing when he's not on the podcast, you can find me basically on all major social medias: Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it now. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, any other major ones under the name you see right there, Phil the Future. I'm here every night with Scalz and Jaxbo, and then you can also catch us. You can also catch myself along with Candy Coaster and Two Sweet Blaze and Velocity for the our new season that is now independently run as Free Talk Wrestling.
Jax, where can we find you?
Fucking everywhere. Like, I'm gonna make it quick and simple. Follow the Discord and follow me on Twitter at JaxBo2020, and that'll keep you up to date on all things that I have going on in this world of podcasting.
So, just a little housekeeping before we sign off. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m., right on Rivet City Radio off the top, Twitch is The Boom with Cam G. Thursday, you're going to have Boss Bitch Trivia, also on Rivet City at 8 p.m. Friday nights, back here on off the top is FNR Review. That's with me and Jamie and Cam. And then we have our football picks. And then Saturday at 8 p.m., you have Prince's Movie Madness. Want to thank everybody for coming out. stick around. We're going to be rating over at River City Radio, so you can check out the After Dark podcast they're doing right now on test. Hope everybody has a great evening, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Get it.